We got the Paris-Bercy draw. Novak Djokovic, Rafa Nadal, Roger Federer, big boy Danny Medvedev. All the top players are going to be there.
Stan Wawrinka don't get no respect from the Swiss media, and he's angry.
And there's a bunch of Swiss fake news out there. All that and some other stuff that we don't remember on tonight's edition of Coffee Break Tennis at John Newcomb's Fireplace. All right, Pete. Welcome to the show. There's never guest host. Hasn't happened in a few years since Cincinnati. Mark Davis is super pissed. Take a look at the Rolex Masters draw. What do you think about that, Pete? Meanwhile, I'm looking over at Österreich and Vienna.
I think it's the biggest tournament to finish out the year, so...
Is this more important than the World Tour Finals?
I think so.
Okay.
It's got all the big names. It kind of looks like a Grand Slam tournament.
Well, the World Tour Finals does have big names, too.
Yeah, but it's got like a full draw here. It's
Okay.
not an exhibition.
Wait, an exhibition?
Yeah, an exhibition. It's like a glorified exhibition. There's like some points involved and...
I heard that. There's a guy here, Joel Drucker. He writes for the Tennis Channel, right? Yeah. Joel Drucker. He's done a lot of stuff. And he says that you got to admit the World Tour Finals, it's kind of 40% at least like the NBA All-Star Weekend.
It's an end-of-the-year party for all tennis fans.
And for the top 8 players. But I think because Federer likes winning it a lot, it does make it a little important, at least for him.
And for you. Well, Matt, one thing that's exciting is the young guns are starting to step up and challenge, and so I'm looking for a Tsitsipas-Djokovic showdown.
Yeah, well, John Newcomb was here talking today, doing a Q&A with a lot of the campers, the next group of campers, not the Fantasy Week campers. And I remember one of the questions they asked him last year was, what do you think about the next gen, the young guns? And he thought nothing. Because remember at that point, this is October last year, before the World Tour Finals when Zverev wins it. So Zverev hadn't done anything really. Right before Paris when Kachanov wins that, but no big names showed up there. And Newcomb gave him no respect. This year, a little different. Remember what Newcomb said about...
Princes who could be kings.
Yeah, that's right. He's calling them princes that could be kings. And he likes Medvedev, actually. He actually does like him.
He likes Medvedev, but he's also worried. He sees it happen a lot where they step up, and then when they really step up and you think they're going to do it and jump over the finish line, they go right back down to the pack. So we'll see how he does.
We'll see. Yeah, it's Medvedev's moment. How does he hang on there? So this draw is really similar to Shanghai, and Medvedev is going to... Oh, I'm looking at the wrong draw. But I remember basically Djokovic and Medvedev is the semifinal that we didn't get in Shanghai because Tsitsipas beat Djokovic in the quarterfinals. They get another rematch. Do you remember what happened in the bottom half of the draw in Shanghai, Pete, to Roger Federer?
Well, Roger Federer, he lost to Zverev.
Yeah, that's right. So guess what? You see it, right?
Yeah.
The quarterfinal. So it's,
you know, he wants that. He wants that, Matt.
Yeah, that was kind of a rare thing to see that. I even put a thumbnail. The last video I did, the thumbnail was like the new Big Four. What do you think of that idea?
There is no new Big Four.
Okay.
Step up and win a big
I knew it was silly. I did it to be provocative, I think.
And just look what Federer did to Tsitsipas today. So that's one thing that Federer is really good at. If anybody gets him, he wants him next time, and he crushes him like a bug.
Yeah, I don't. That's my question for you, Pete. You're a tennis expert. Do you think we're going to see more upsets like that in Shanghai, or do you think Djokovic and Federer both get the quarterfinal revenge at least?
I think since it's getting right down to the final, that tournament they do want to win. They want to win that last tournament of the year, so I think they want to go in looking top form, be the top dog. I see no big upsets coming out of Paris.
Okay, what about Medvedev-Djokovic semifinal? That's tough to pick,
match.
right? Yeah.
They play very similar, and if anything, sometimes it looks like Medvedev with the serve has more firepower than Djokovic. So out of all the matches, that's the one I see being an upset, but I still don't see it happening. I think Djokovic wants revenge too.
Okay, all right. What about Rafa? Who's he got to run into? I know Kachanov is in there. Is that his quarterfinal?
Rafa, again, we don't know how he's going to play because he's taking some time off. So that's the one thing about Rafa is he likes to hit a lot of balls. He needs to hit a lot of balls. So if he's just coming back into a tournament, especially indoors, which is a little faster, ball doesn't bounce as much, he could be the one guy who gets upset.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. And he's the one who needs it. I don't think he cares about being number one, so not too much of a story there. Dominic Thiem is in Vienna, Austria. He beat Berrettini in 3 sets today. Schwartzman beat Monfils. Pretty easy, Dominic Thiem. It looks like he's had not too tough of a draw, but solid wins for Dominic Thiem. Dropped a set to Verdasco, and poor Pablo Carreno Busta. I can't even say it because the guy's losing 5-0 and retired. Things are getting better for him for a little bit. Not a good year for Busta. That's enough of that.
Maybe it's all those boostas.
Yeah. Now he's Busta. All right, let's look at the Swiss indoors. You know what happened with Tsitsipas today. Wawrinka, how about that? The bat came out. Take a listen to this. What do you think of this, Pete? Wawrinka says, there is an impression here in this room and in Switzerland that I have not had a good year. I'm exaggerating, but I have a feeling that, frankly, I've lost the joy of talking to the media in Switzerland. So basically the Swiss media is saying, what's wrong, Stan? When are you ever going to get back to the top level? And Stan kind of went off on him. Do you think Stan actually has had a good year like he's basically saying here?
I think especially you can't, when you have an injury like he's had and to come back, it's a big accomplishment.
Yeah,
you know? And
that's the gist of what he's saying here.
The media is ignorant. They don't understand tennis, and so they don't understand what an accomplishment it is to, beat certain players like taking Djokovic out at the U.S. Open, or getting to a quarterfinals. It's not easy to do that on the tour, but the media is just looking for, did you win the tournament or not? And if you didn't, you're in a big slump, and what's wrong with you? But Stan has had a very positive year coming back. And I think if he can stay healthy and he's got this attitude, I like that he came out about this. He's like, hey, I feel good about my game. I feel good about the gear. That's a good sign for 2020.
Yeah, this is what he says. Sounds basically what you're saying. Everything I did this year makes it a very good year for me. Stan says, I have regained my confidence. I've beaten the very best players again at certain times, as in Djokovic at the U.S. Open. Sure, I didn't win any Grand Slam tournaments, but who won them?
Exactly.
Good point.
They win them all.
I'm back in a position where I know I will be capable of what I will be capable of next year, and that was my goal for 2019. Would I like to finish top 10, blah, blah, blah. You get the gist of that. Do you think he does anything next year? Does he win a major next year?
I don't think he wins a major because the top guys, they just eat up all the majors. So I think still, but I do think we're going to see him in some quarters, some semis, maybe even a final.
Okay. The Swiss indoors, do you think Roger dodged a bullet not playing Riley Opelka? Alex Demonauer, the shortest guy on tour, took out Riley Opelka, the tallest guy on tour, in 3 tiebreakers. That goes to the final. Roger Federer, of course, came through Tsitsipas 4-4.
Well, of course, against a big server, anything can happen. But one thing that I've learned from you is Roger loves to play the big servers. He likes to take all that pace, get it back, get into a point, and then take over the point. So, no, I don't think he dodged a bullet at all. And the tournament's going to be his, which will make my buddy Matt very happy.
All right, we're losing light here, and we got to get into the dinner with our people. We're running a clinic here, now Fantasy Week is over. Here's the fake news in the Swiss media. This outraged me, and it's, of course, where do you think this is from?
What is that one you hate?
Okay, the Express.
The Express.
Yeah, not Tennis Express.
Tennis Express.
We love them,
Express.
and we thank them for being a sponsor at TennisCon 3. Anyways, here's the BS Federer story I put down here. It may be a bit different than before when I get set, jump, and break lead and did not necessarily push. So basically, Roger was saying that it was kind of like a tough workout, his first match. It's a little insulting to the opponent, I guess, but that's what the story is. And then, of course, what do you think they did?
They put it as he was disrespectful to his opponent.
Yeah, but how do you think they illustrated this in the article?
Well, you tell me. What did they say?
They went to Twitter.
Oh, yeah?
So who, I mean, you know the people they're quoting. The story is Swiss fans turn on Roger Federer.
Oh, never.
There's no chance.
Never.
There's no chance. Okay, I do it differently now than 10 years ago. Basically, Federer is saying, now that I'm older, when I get up a break, I don't really fight as hard for that second break. I focus more on holding serve, is what the gist of Federer is saying. In 53 minutes, you don't consume much. That's ideal. It's actually like a super workout in front of an audience. That's what he said.
What he's saying
is that disrespectful to you?
He's working smarter, not harder. He's got to save the body. He really knows how to hold a lead these days. He's been in so many matches. He understands the pacing of a match. That's all he's trying to say.
Okay, so here's what the supposed Swiss fans said on social media. Swiss newspaper Blick ran Federer's comments on comparing the win, blah, blah, blah. Readers were not happy. So this might have been comments in Swiss, or in Blick. But, you know, do you ever read an article, a news article, anything? It doesn't have to be tennis. The comments below are even worse than Twitter because they're totally anonymous. So I think it's either that or it's from Twitter. Describing a game among professionals as a training unit testifies to complete disrespect to the opponent, wrote a Swiss fan. How to cheer such a victory with such stupid sayings is beyond me, said another fan. I hope the receipt for this is done with an early exit for Federer from the tournament. If then, similar sayings will fall. Another person added, I do not like him. That's not a Federer fan. There's no way. Another person said, exactly.
Well, if no one's talking about you, you're probably not doing much. So, of course, as many millions love Federer, of course, he's got his haters just like anybody else.
So that's not Swiss fans, right?
No, of course not.
Okay, those are haters that went to a Swiss website or were on Twitter. Ostapenko won a tournament.
Yeah? Wow.
Okay. Sasha Zverev commented on Medvedev and Tsitsipas don't like each other.
Medvedev and Tsitsipas don't like each other. That's true.
Well, remember the BS Russian thing?
That's actually interesting.
Well, did you see the latest thing?
I think Tsitsipas is really pushing this rivalry because he comes off, he loses.
Okay, here's the quote. Tsitsipas said, I don't mean to be rude at all. Right, he loses in Shanghai. I don't mean to be rude at all, actually, but it's just boring. It's boring. And someone else said this, watching Medvedev's boring. Who was that?
Me.
It's boring. It's so boring that, I don't know, he has a huge serve. If you manage to get it back, it's just countless balls the sides of the court. It's boring. Medvedev basically said, after hearing the story from Tsitsipas about how he had to chug vodka and Coke or something like that, soda pop Coke, not like, not Dirty Dan.
Yeah.
So not Richard Gasquet.
Okay, we don't, not that.
They don't party like that.
Not that.
Not off of strippers in a French strip club. So Medvedev said, like, I can't take the guy seriously. He can't even handle his vodka, which for a Russian.
And we know the Russians can.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. So are you amused by this? Do you like it? Does it make tennis more exciting?
Well, I think, yes, it makes tennis more exciting. And I think Tsitsipas is the one who comes out looking a little bit like a baby on this because, I've coached a lot of people, and usually when they lose people they can't beat, they call them pushers. They don't like the way they hit the ball because they don't know how to beat them. And I think that's kind of what Tsitsipas is running up against.
Yeah.
Frustrated.
Okay. Last thing, Andy Murray. He won a tournament. You saw that, right?
That's very inspirational.
Yeah, it's a nice story. He said, honestly, I'm not expecting to get back to my best ever again.
Of course he is.
But I think it would probably be a bit naive and silly to think that that would be the case. Never mind. But I do feel like tennis-wise, I can still compete at the highest level in terms of my skill. It's just whether physically I can get to a high enough level to be competitive right at the top. I still got quite a way to go. That's basically what I was saying, right?
Yeah, but look how far and how fast he's come. It makes me think he can get to the top faster than we all think he can.
Let's take a look at what that draw was. Andy Murray, who did he beat? Are you impressed, Pete? Andy Murray beat Kimmer Koppeljans.
What?
Then he beat Pablo Cuevas.
That's good.
That's
a
good.
Very good win.
Then he beat Kopel, Marius Kopel.
Good win. Solid.
Then he beat Ugo Umber.
Okay.
He's a young French guy. He's actually pretty good. He's a talented next-gen guy.
Okay.
And then he beat Stan. And Stan's been playing pretty well, I think.
I mean, that's solid.
Okay.
He's looking good.
Look at that draw one more time and see if anything jumps out at you.
Let's see, anything jump out?
Anything awesome.
Oh, I want to see Monfils play Fabio Fognini. They're not going to win the tournament, but it's a very entertaining match that everybody should check out.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
I see something here. Zverev said, actually, I think the opposite of Danny. I don't think he's boring at all. Danny is somebody that plays a way we've never seen before. Is that true?
In a way, in a very boring way.
So you could see.
I don't have to play him. So
Yeah.
It's a personal thing. It's just.
What if he comes to Fantasy Week one year?
I'd probably kiss his butt off.
Well, there's never been a Russian here before, so who knows? You can see it both ways, says Sasha. Maybe he doesn't do huge winners or jumping forehands or anything like that, but he plays a style that we've never seen before. That is not boring to me.
Well, I think Zverev, and he seems like a really nice kid. He is definitely a PC type player. It seems like he's always trying to be politically correct. He's always trying to be very respectful to the legends of the game that are the legends to him, like Federer and Nadal. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just think that's the way he goes with stuff.
What, Medvedev?
No, I'm thinking Zverev, the way he's being
Zverev.
respectful. He's like, he doesn't like to see that, he wins a tournament and he's being made fun of the way he plays and say it's boring.
So Sasha very well may think his game is a little boring, but he'll never say that.
Right, he might or he might not, but I just think he doesn't, he's trying to get
All right,
tournament.
contest, who can get it over the camera?
Oh, I like this. I'm going to try and hit the camera.
Okay.
Knock it down and break your camera.
If you hit the camera, you win instantly.
Okay.
Unless I can hit it.
Who goes first?
You want it?
I want it.
Okay.
Ready?
Mine's much heavier.
Oh, I totally choked.
All right, so The hitting camera wins, but going over it like a rainbow also wins.
Okay, go ahead.
Should I just take the easy win, or should I go for the
Well, I
knockdown?
don't know, Matt. You want a challenge? You want the easy one?
God.
Okay, totally choked.